Have you ever been in a relationship that just took off like a rocket? I mean, it started with this incredible, almost unbelievable intensity. You felt like you'd finally found the one. But then it all soured, and you were left just feeling confused and kind of hurt. Well, as we're going to see, what feels like a fairy tale can sometimes be a really carefully crafted illusion.
Wow, this quote just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? That feeling of being put on a pedestal, only to be controlled later on, that's not just a romance gone wrong, it's a known pattern of manipulation. And if this sounds even a little bit familiar, I want you to know you're not alone. So together, we're going to break down exactly what this is, and way more importantly, how to see it coming. Okay, so let's put a name to it. What are we actually talking about when we say love bombing? Because it's not just about big romantic gestures. Nope, it's a specific pattern with a very specific and kind of hidden goal. Now, the most important part of this whole definition is that last little phrase, before trust can form. Think about it. Real intimacy, real trust, that stuff is built slowly. It's built on shared experiences, on being vulnerable, on seeing each other's flaws. Love bombing is a shortcut. It tries to manufacture that deep bond in a flash. And what you get is something that feels real, but is actually built on control, not real connection. All right, so this is the big question, right? How in the world do you tell the difference between someone who's genuinely excited about you and someone who's using a manipulation tactic? Well, the key is to look for a pattern, a cluster of very specific red flags. Let's walk through them. The first and maybe the most obvious sign is just the sheer speed of it all. I mean, we're talking about declarations of I love you within weeks, sometimes even days. All this talk of being soulmates, pressure to move in together, get engaged, it all happens at this dizzying breakneck pace. And yeah, it feels super flattering, but it's really designed to sweep you off your feet before you have a moment to think.
And that dizzying pace, it's usually fueled by language that sounds exactly like this. Hearing, "I've never felt this way before," is designed to make you feel completely unique, like you are the most special person on the planet. And look, it can be genuine sometimes, but in the context of love bombing, it's a tool. It's a tool to create this powerful sense of attachment and even obligation before you've had a chance to really question it. You know, this goes way beyond just having an attentive partner. This is a constant, nonstop barrage of texts, calls, DMs. You wake up to a wall of text. You're expected to reply instantly. It's a strategy, you see, to occupy all of your mental and emotional real estate, leaving very little room for anyone or anything else. And what happens if you try to push back? If you say, hey, this is a little much for me? Well, this is the justification you'll probably hear. And this phrase, it's so clever because it flips the whole script. It makes you feel guilty for wanting a little bit of space. It's the perfect disguise for control, dressing it up as care. Okay, this one is super subtle, but it's incredibly powerful. The love bomber puts you on this pedestal, acting like you are completely flawless. At the same time, they mirror you. They suddenly love all your favorite bands. They share your exact dreams for the future. It creates this magical feeling of, oh my gosh, we're the same person. But it's not genuine compatibility. It's an illusion designed to make you believe you found your one in a billion perfect match. You know, a healthy relationship really respects your independence. Love bombing, on the other hand, actively discourages it. They'll want all of your free time. They might get quiet or sulky when you make plans with your friends, and slowly but surely they pull you away from your own life, your own routines. Your world starts to shrink and shrink until they're the absolute center of it. And this is the pivot. This is when the mask comes off. Once they feel like you're hooked, that you're emotionally dependent, the love bombing phase just stops. Affection suddenly has strings attached. That constant praise gets replaced with little criticisms, with subtle put-downs. And this is where the real confusion and anxiety kick in, because you find yourself scrambling, trying to win back that amazing person you met at the very beginning. So, why? Why does this even happen? What's the psychological engine that's driving all this behavior? Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. It's not about love. It's about control, and it's about ego. This whole behavior is often driven by a deep need for something psychologists call narcissistic supply. The easiest way to think about it is like an emotional fuel source. They need constant admiration and attention to feel good about themselves, to feed their ego. So that initial flood of affection, it wasn't really a gift for you. It was an investment for them, a way to secure that supply.
And all of this creates a really powerful and frankly addictive cycle that's known as trauma bonding. It's like a slot machine for your emotions. You get the high of intense affection, then the low of withdrawal and criticism. You work harder and harder to please them, and just when you're about to give up, you get a small reward, a tiny crumb of that old affection. And then it's withdrawn again. This up and down roller coaster creates a deep chemical bond that is incredibly hard to break. Right now, you might be thinking, how could I have possibly fallen for this? And I really want you to hear me on this. It has nothing to do with how smart you are. It's not about being weak. It's about biology. Love bombing literally hijacks your brain chemistry. All of that praise, all that intense attention, that feeling of being the one, it floods your brain with dopamine. That's the exact same chemical that's linked to reward and pleasure. It makes the whole experience feel absolutely euphoric and, yeah, addictive. You literally get hooked on the high of their affection. At the very same time, all the constant communication and the displays of affection are triggering oxytocin. It's often called the bonding hormone or the cuddle hormone. It's the stuff that makes you feel deeply, deeply connected and attached to someone really, really fast. So, here's the biological trap in a nutshell. You got this potent chemical cocktail of dopamine and oxytocin just coursing through you. It makes your brain form this powerful emotional bond before your logical, rational mind has even had a chance to step in and say, hey, wait a minute, does this all add up? You feel deeply in love long before you can see the red flags for what they really are. And this just sums it up perfectly. You're not building a connection brick by brick. You're being overwhelmed by a tidal wave. It's a deluge that's designed to short-circuit your critical thinking and create dependency. Okay, so if any of this is sounding painfully familiar, how do you start to heal? Well, the good news, the really good news, is that recovery is 100% possible. Let's look at the first steps you can take to reclaim your sense of self. This right here is basically the roadmap back. It all starts with just naming it, right? Giving the pattern a name clears away so much of the confusion. From there, it's about detaching from the fantasy, realizing you fell for an ideal, not a real person. Then comes a kind of detox, calming your nervous system down from that emotional roller coaster. And that's what gives you the strength to rebuild boundaries. And finally, the most important step, restoring trust in your own gut feelings. And this is such a powerful tool. Because manipulators are masters of words. They can talk their way out of anything. But they can't control the signals your body is sending you. That tightness in your chest, that pit in your stomach, that's your intuition. That's your truth. And learning to listen to your body over their words is the absolute key to getting your self-trust back. Please, let this be the one thing you take away today. Real love is patient. It respects your pace. It celebrates your independence. It honors your boundaries. It feels safe. It feels steady. It doesn't feel like a frantic flood that just vanishes the second you say no. Real love gives you space to be you. Thanks for watching. Remember, understanding these dynamics isn't about blaming yourself. It's about empowering yourself so you can build healthier, more authentic, and truly loving connections in the future.